What's up, everybody? Welcome in for another video. Finally had some time to get around to going through the exceptional set of the Arthurian Legends, the newest set from Sorcery Contested Realm. In my past two videos, I did the uniques and the elites. I wanted to try and go through this one a little bit quicker. Still give, a lot of good information about each card in this set. And I wanted to kind of focus on whether or not they're good in sealed or constructed, and just the overall quality of the card, art, all the good stuff. So we'll get right into it. The first card is Annual Fair. It's an exceptional sight. All of these are 3-ofs in your decks for sorcery. In sealed, you can have any number of them. It's based on what you pull out of your packs that you get. Annual Fair is pay 1 and you'll gain 1 of each threshold of any of the thresholds per mana. So if you pay 1, you're going to get 1 air, earth, fire, or water. Pay 2, on the second one, you'll get another 1 of air, earth, fire, water. This is a very, very good card. I think this is going to go very well in a lot of constructed decks. The next one is Attack by Night. It's 3 in an air. Enemies drop their artifacts. Allied units strike first this turn. I don't really see this being a really good constructed card. It might see a little bit of play. Probably very little play in sealed. With Just a Rock, I know I haven't seen too many people playing Just a Rock, but a lot of people are getting used to dropping their artifacts. So that doesn't really, matter too much. The allied unit strike first is decent, but I don't think this card will see a lot of play. The next card is another great sight, Babbling Brook. Its Genesis effect is until your next turn, minions are disabled while atop nearby sites, and it's for a water threshold. If you're pulling this out of a sealed pack, you're going to be wanting to play water. You're definitely going to be playing this ahead of any of the basic draft kit sites. This is a very good card. You're obviously going to do a lot of your movements and actions before placing this down, and then that will make your opponent's turn have them disabled on the nearby sites for the next turn, which will come great in handy. Control decks, just making sure that they can't move around, that sort of thing. This is a great card. Bailey, I think, is a great sealed card. I don't think it's going to see a lot of constructed play. For 3 mana, enemies can't move here on the ground. I know in one of my sealed events that I played, my deck only had 1 or 2 flyers, and I had my opponent on death's door, but I didn't have any kill spells in hand, and I needed to do direct damage, and he had this on his avatar in his back row. So it was very, very hard for me to get to his avatar. I needed to dig out, I think, a wyvern or something in order to fly in and just hope that it didn't get removed on the next turn. So I think Bailey is a good sealed card. I don't think it'll see much play as far as constructed. The next site is Beacon. Genesis, gain 1 for each nearby site with an enemy atop it, and it's air site. Like I said before, if you're pulling this in your sealed decks or in your sealed packs, and you're going to be playing air, if you have a good air pool, you're going to be playing this ahead of the air basic sites. I think this is actually a decent card in constructed as well. I just think air has a lot of choices, and I don't know how much of your site, if you're playing multicolor, if you're just playing solo air or leading heavily into solo air for an avatar of air deck. I don't know if you'll be playing this over a lot of the other sites, but it is definitely a good card. Black Knight is 5 cost, 1 fire, 1 water for a 5/3. It costs 2 less to cast if you have more life than each opponent. Once again, the main thing on this card that I see is it says each opponent. I do think Sorcery will eventually go to a multiplayer format instead of just one-on-one. Eventually, just as like a new format, maybe a 2-on-2 or maybe a commander style, every man for himself 4-player deal. But he's good. If your sealed deck is fire water, you're going to be playing him because he's one of your bigger guys. He's going to be hitting for 5 with three health. I don't know if this is going to go in too many constructed decks, but it's a decent card. Blue Knight is 3 and an air and a water for a 3/2 with a lance. This is another one with the art is kind of, it's there. I don't know if this is going to see a lot of play constructed wise. If this is, one of your 3-cost curve guys that you pull out for sealed, you'll probably be playing it if you're playing air and water. Other than that, I don't think this might go into maybe some battle mage decks that are playing air and water. But other than that, I don't think it'll see much play. Blue Cap Knockers is 3 and 2 earth for a 3. It has burrowing, and Blue Cap Knocker's sight can't be moved, destroyed, or modified. So while this is out, this is basically a minion bedrock, which is very cool. I think this is a great card. 3 is kind of like the lower end now of beefiness for the cards. So I think this could end up in some decks. Briar Patch is an exceptional sight of painful passage. Whenever an enemy unit enters or leaves the site, it takes 1 damage. So if you can force some movement around and do some chip damage before taking something out, this will be cool. It also is the earth threshold. So if you're pulling it out of a sealed pool, you're going to be playing this ahead of the basic earth sites. Cast into Exile, I really like for 2 and 2 air. You're going to shuffle target minion occupying an allied site into its owner's spellbook. So once they're on your side, whether they've attacked into it or if you're able to move them onto it, maybe with a Pudge Butcher or a Nelly Longarms, then you can just cast into Exile, shuffle it back into your deck, remove it. If you don't want to just kill it, you can shuffle it back in. That's also good because a lot of decks want to draw and thin out their deck, so then you're stacking their deck back up. So this is a very good card. Castle Haunt, I was kind of iffy on, but the more I read it, the more I actually like it. For 3 and an air, you're going to get a 4 power minion. It may be cast to any elite or unique site, and it dies if it leaves its summoning site. So your main goal here is you're not going to be casting this on your site. You're going to be casting it on your opponent's site. It's a spirit, so you could evil presence it, get some charge, hit for 4 right away. Or if you definitely want a bigger 4 power minion to block, you can place it on yours. But I think this is kind of like Headless Haunt, but without the randomness. He's just staying where he's casted. So I think it's a good card. It's got some potential. For 1, you're gonna play Cold Iron Rod. Fairies here are disabled. I don't think this is gonna see much play. I'm not gonna get too far into that one. For 3 and 2 water, you get to play Koi Nixie for 2 power. She has Submerge, and once on your turn, Koi Nixie may force target nearby enemy to take a step towards her. Tap that enemy if it's untapped. So water doing tap effects, it's good. For 2 and a water, you're going to play Degradation, transform a mortal into a foot soldier token. This is going to stop, your wedding decks with King Arthur and Queen Guinevere. And some of the mortals, they're big, scary guys, and to just turn them into a 1/1, that's a good card. For 7 and 2 Earth, we're gonna let me butcher this name of Delirium Fomorians. 6 power and toughness, burrowing and submerge. So if you're getting this out in sealed, the giants are definitely tough to handle in sealed. And if you're getting this out in constructed, they're going to have a little bit of a time removing it. So that's a good card if you can get it out. Looking forward to some giant, maybe some cheating out some giants. I think that's going to be coming. Fae City, Tap an allied fairy here, shoot a projectile, it deals 1 damage. Air Threshold, once again in sealed. If you're going to be playing air, you're going to be playing this. And you get icing on the cake if you're playing fairies. I know there's a lot of good fairy cards and some good fairy decks. So just being able to tap them to shoot a projectile. Maybe you can give one of those fairies lethal and shoot a lethal projectile and knock out one of those big giants. Fine Courser, 2 in an air for a 1 power. Charge, movement +1, may carry an ally. Not a big fan of that card. For 4 and 2 fire, you'll get to play Fire Breathing. May be cast by an allied beast or dragon. Does not have to be a spellcaster, which is a cool effect. Choose a cardinal direction and deal damage to each unit at a location in the area of effect. It's going to do 4 right in front of it, 1 step further, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. Good to get rid of something right in front of your beast or dragon. And I guess you could also cast this from a spellcaster if you need to. So that's pretty cool. 4 Berry Knot, 1 cost, bear minion, takes no damage from units with 4 or more power, and is also a fairy. This card I don't think we'll see a lot of play from. Either that or I'm just not seeing it. Stopping 4 or more power is good, but it can get removed. Turning something into a fairy can be cool. For Sylvan Splendor to get some extra draw if it's not a fairy. So I can see it, being a fringe card. For 1 and an earth, you'll get to play a 1 power Frisky Red Squirrel. Genesis effect is to take target nearby artifact that can be carried and hide it beneath this site. So you can burrow your Angel's Egg with just this Genesis effect instead of taking a movement to do it, or you can just snatch one of your opponent's artifacts and get it out of the way so they can't use it, or they'll have to, dig under to get it. Funeral Pyre is a fire threshold, and the Genesis effect is to banish up to 3 cards from 1 cemetery. This will help you going against Archmago and Death Speaker decks, so that way they can't use those effects for their cemetery. And once again, broken record here, if you're pulling this in a sealed pool and you're playing fire, you're going to play this ahead of the basic sites. Giant Killer comes in handy and sealed for 3 and a water. You'll get a 2 power minion with a cool Genesis effect of kill target nearby giant. The giants are very hard to handle and sealed, and just for simple removal, that's a great card. Hunting Party, 4 and an earth for a 3. You'll get ranged and nearby enemies lose stealth. That's a good card. Impenetrable Cops, projectiles can't enter the site from the outside, so you'll stop grapple shots from going through it. You'll stop all other projectiles, and you'll get that earth threshold on top of it. Iron Man Talus is a 4 cost, 3 power minion. And he's so cool because he can't be disabled and can't be moved by force. So you're not going to be able to bury him. You're not going to be able to submerge him. He's just an Iron Man standing there being strong. 3 power. He is subject to quick removal, but I think that's a good card. I think that's very good in sealed. And I think that we could possibly see him in some decks because any deck can play him. He doesn't take a threshold to play. 4 and a water, you're going to get Kingswood Poachers, 3 power, stealth. Stealth is always good. Genesis, search a spellbook for up to 3 beasts, banish them, then shuffle. So you're just going to banish 3 beasts from your opponent. That's good. You are thinning their deck a little bit, but banishing 3 of their dudes with stealth, you're going to hit them most likely for a guaranteed 3. That's a good card. I do really like the art on that as well. 1 and an earth, you get to cast Knighthood. If you control an ordinary mortal, you may summon a knight, sir, or dame from your hand to their location. So you're able to cheat out, one of your big guys as long as you control an ordinary mortal. And it is worth noting that a foot soldier token is an ordinary mortal. So that's a great card. 5 and 2 fire, you get to cast Lava Flow. Lava flows from the caster's site in a cardinal direction, deal damage to each other unit occupying a site in the area of effect. 5/2/4. This is a great kill spell in sealed. I don't know if this is going to see much in constructed, but it is a great sealed card. Get that final blow in after they're at death's door, and the art on this is really good. Next is my favorite exceptional card. This actually might be my favorite card in the set. Let's zoom in on this guy. Lugbog Cat. 3 and 2 water for a 4 for this giant, awesome cat. Can and must be cast to any water site. You can take advantage of that to cast it directly on your opponent's side of the field on one of their sites. Maybe put it over into the corner where they can't get to this big cat for a while. Or they're going to probably have to 2-for-1 him with him being 4 cost. I think this art is awesome. I have 3 foils of this ready to put into my deck, and I can't wait to play it. He's done a lot of work for me. It's a great sealed card, great constructed card. The next one is 7 and 2 water for a 6. Myriad Fomorians. The other side, if you put this with the other one, the art connects, which is really cool. And they also have Burrowing and Submerge, so it's just the water version of that card. Next, we have Pebbled Pass. Minions atop nearby sites lose charge or threshold. Taking away charge when you know you're playing against opponent with possible charge minions coming out. It's very good. It will take away charge from yours, so you'll hit your charge before playing this. So this is a good card. Also, you'll play this ahead of the basic sites. Pigs of the Sounder, 3 and 2 earth for a 3. This is going to help you get out the Grand Old Boars. When they die, reveal your next 5 spells, then summon all Grand Old Boars from among them to the site. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. If you're able to do the Squeakers into Sounder into Great Old Boar, if you have like the super awesome lucky pig sealed pool, that's super cool. I think it's a little bit tougher to do now with the increase in the deck size to 50, but it is a cool deck. Poisoned Well. Genesis enemy avatars lose 1 life for each nearby site they control. Fire threshold here. Love the art on this card. It's very cool to play this out late game where you can hit them for a good amount of damage. Maybe you Rift Valleyed onto their side and they have some other stuff out there, and you can play this in a good position to do 3 damage or something. Or you could just play it at any other time and do a little bit of damage. Anything helps, especially a site doing damage is very good. 3 and 2 fire, you get to play Pukas, 2 health, or 2 toughness, 2 power. Deathrite, each opponent discards a random card. Art is super creepy, super cool. I'm not too sure what I think about this card yet. Each opponent discards a random card. Once again, it says each opponent, alluding to a possible, multiplayer format in the future. It doesn't affect you because it's just opponents, so that's good. Anything that can make somebody discard a card, pretty decent. The 2 toughness says it's kind of weak. 3 air and a fire for Purple Knight for a 3/2 lance. Pretty basic there. It's very cool art. 3 and 2 fire, you get to cast Red Cap Poweries, 3 power. Charge, if Red Cap Poweries haven't attacked by the end of your turn, they die. I think this is a great card. 3/3 charge, so they're going to get to attack, so they're not going to be subject to dying. You're just going to have to keep attacking once they're out. Love the art on this card. 4 and 2 fire for Saracen Raiders, 3 power charge, maybe cast to any site without enemies. This is another great card. 4 and a fire for Shatter Strike. Any ally targets an enemy adjacent to them, destroying an artifact they're carrying, and then striking them. Not too sure what I think about the card. The art is okay. I might see very little sealed play. Siege Giant. 4 and 2 fire for a 4. This is also known as the Yeet Giant. Once on your turn, Siege Giant may throw a weaker ally here through the air to a nearby location. So this is going to bypass some of those sites that don't allow certain things to enter. Movement is always good. Free movement is always good. I'm interested to see if there's going to be a giant deck that can pop off. I think that's a great card. 2 in an air, you get to play Sisters of Avalon, 1 power. She's a spellcaster, and Genesis, discard a spell, draw a spell. So if you want to discard, this will go great in Archmago. You discard it. If you can discard it, and then you draw, which is great. The good thing about this is if you have an empty hand, discard a spell, just fizzles, but you still draw, which is great. 5 and 2 water, you get to play another great card, Snowball. Shoot a piercing projectile. It picks up all other units along its path, carries them with it when it stops. Units there take damage equal to the number of units in the snowball. So you can strategically play this to move your minions with that projectile, snowball them onto your opponent's side, strategically play it to where they don't die from the snowball. The snowball will deal damage to other units, so that includes the avatar there. It can hopefully take out some of their minions, and then your minions will be able to attack if they live. It's a great card. I have this in foil as well. It looks great in foil. Awesome all-around card. 4 and 2 earth, you get to play Stone Rain. Target a site up to 2 steps away. Deal 1 damage to everything atop it, repeating for each site in your hand. If you can load up your hand with sites and play this, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. I don't see it doing too much because I don't see too many people with a lot of sites. Like your sorcerers aren't going to be holding a lot of sites in the end. This could see some fringe play. I don't know if it's going to see a lot of sealed play. 2 in a water, you get another great card, Sugar Plum Pixies. 2 power, airborne. At the end of your turn, untap another nearby ally. You're just going to untap something after it's likely already attacked. Then you'll have another blocker. It's a great card. Airborne is also definitely just a plus. For 3, you get to play Sword and Shield. Bearer has +2 power. Pretty straightforward there. I don't see that card being played a lot. Another one of my favorites, probably right after the big cat, you got the 2 in an air for Tooth Fairies, 2 power, airborne. At the start of your turn, tap target nearby enemy. You're going to take away one of their blockers. It's just great. This art is awesome. So creepy, so good. Love it. Tournament Grounds. This is a great sealed card, I think. It's going to be great in your Knights decks to cheat them out. Anyone may cast Knights, Sirs, or Dames to this site and may do so for no threshold. So those crazy threshold requirements for your Knights, Sirs, and Dames, they don't apply here. The only catch here is that your opponent can play them there too. I think this is a great card. Does not have any thresholds. You're not going to get any additional benefit there. But this is a decent card in sealed because you're likely going to pull a Sir, Knight, or a Dame out of your 6 packs. And it's just good to not have to worry about the threshold. Next we have Town. I always think when I look at this card, it just looks like the Millennium Falcon. It's just what it looks like to me. It's just so, it's there. It's an exceptional minions cost 1 less to cast to this site. It is kind of a meh site, but the Millennium Falcon factor of this just makes me want to play it. I don't see it having much play. This one has a confirmed Curio card now, Troll Bridge. The Curio is Toll Bridge without an R. This is a great card. Water Threshold. It's sort of like a free city. The first time a lone enemy here enters each turn, strike it unless they discard a card. So they're going to get hit for 3 unless they discard. If it's a bigger minion, they're not going to worry about that. You're still going to take damage. They won't worry about it. They'll say, okay, you can strike my 6 power guy. It's fine. The catch here is lone enemy. So if you got an enemy that can carry something with it, that invalidates that effect there. I think this is a great card all around. Once again, if you pull this in sealed and you're going to play water, you got good water cards. You pulled 3 Lugbog Cats somehow, you're playing Troll Bridge. Vanishment. I like this card a lot. I have it one of in a deck, and I'm considering it going up to 2. 3 and 2 air. Give all allied minions stealth. Draw a card. Draw a spell. So drawing is always good. Giving all of your minions stealth is great. It's just a great card. The art is awesome. 3 earth and a water for Verdant Knight. 3/2 Lance. Pretty basic there. Just a switch up on the threshold as the other ones. For 2 and a fire, you get to play Warhorse for 2 power. Charge, may carry an ally. This is a great card, sealed and constructed. It can carry an ally. That's awesome. Whirlwind for 2 and an air. Choose clockwise or counterclockwise. Each unit and artifact to top sites in a 2x2 area is pushed 1 step in that direction. Movement's always good. Free movement is good as well. It's even better, actually. I love the art on this. If you look in close, you can see, some other artifacts from other cards in the Whirlwind. It's so cool. 5 and an air earth for White Knight 3/5. Costs 2 less to cast if you have less life than each opponent. So similar to the other one, just different color. Here's a beast right here. I think this might get into some constructed decks. I know it'll be in, the big beefy earth decks. And this is just a killer in sealed. 6 and 2 earth for Wyvern for a 5. Airborne. Just straightforward. This also has a Curio as well. I do not like the Curio art at all. I think this one looks awesome. I wish this was like an alternate art Dust Reward. It would be so cool. And it looks like the final card here is 3 and a fire earth for a Yellow Knight 3/2 Lance. So similar to the other ones, just a different color and another, card with some really cool art. So right there is all the exceptionals of the Arthurian Legends set for Sorcery. I hope everybody had a great time at Sorcery Con. I did not get to go. I was super jealous. It was just going to be a little bit too expensive for me. I should have just pulled the plug and did it anyway. But I will, no matter what, be at the next Sorcery Con. It just looked like such a blast. I love competitive play. I just love playing this game. I can lose 8 games in a row and I'll have a blast playing this game. Don't get me wrong, I like winning, but just this game, I'm trying to grow the local community around here. I tell everybody I can about Sorcery. I love everything about this game so much. I look forward to the Dragonborn set and the new Dust Rewards that are coming out soon. The new binders. I'm going to get all my cards bindered up in the official Sorcery binders. Just can't wait. The game is doing so much good, and I've had just so much fun with it. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.